Josh raised his younger brother Daniel throughout his childhood, and do you know what Daniel did to repay Josh's dedication, support, and kindness? He stabbed him with the biggest, ugliest, rustiest dagger known to man, dead center right in the middle of his big brother's back. That's what he did. Watch to the end to see how Josh handled the betrayal of his own flesh and blood.
My name is Josh, and I'm 23 years old. Growing up, my parents were always busy working, leaving me to take care of my younger brother Daniel, who is 19 now. I played the role of a protective older brother, guiding him through life's challenges, helping with homework, and standing up for him against bullies. We had a strong bond, and he looked up to me as a role model. When he was at school, he would always brag to his friends about his cool older brother. He would try to emulate me in the way I dressed and talked, and even took up the same hobbies and sports as me.
That's exactly what big brothers are for. They look after their family. Sounds like you were a great role model for your brother to look up to.
When I left high school to begin studying at university, I got a part-time job at a fast food restaurant. That's when I met Jess, who is a year younger than me. We hit it off instantly, and it wasn't long before we were in a relationship. She was funny, caring, and made me feel like the luckiest guy in the world. She was working full-time at the restaurant and didn't have plans to study or anything. She just wanted to make money and live her life. Everything was great in our relationship. The only bad thing was that Jess was a little clingy at times and got anxious whenever we couldn't spend time together, but that wasn't really a big deal. I always set aside time to hang out with her, and we'd go on dates 2 or 3 times a week. We were together all the way up until I finished university, and I landed my first big boy job at a fairly well-known company. It was a big win for me, and to celebrate adulthood, Jess and I decided to move into an apartment together. Daniel was bummed that I wasn't living at our parents' house anymore, but the apartment was only a 15-minute drive away. He would often come over to hang out. One thing I noticed, and it was a thing ever since I first introduced Jess to my family, was that Daniel seemed to have a crush on Jess. I brushed it off thinking it was just a silly boyhood crush and he'd get over it once he found a girlfriend of his own. Jess even tried to set him up with one of her friends once, but that didn't work out.
It's not that unusual for younger siblings to develop crushes on their older siblings' partners. It's probably their first introduction into what dating life might look like when they get older and get a girlfriend or boyfriend of their own. It's usually a completely harmless infatuation that leads nowhere, as would be the case with your brother, right?
Life got busier as I got deeper into my job, working long hours. I was overworked and exhausted whenever I came home, and quality time with Jess suffered. Jess began expressing her dissatisfaction at never seeing me anymore, and that moving in together was meant to bring us closer. I told her work would only be this busy for a couple of months, and I couldn't do much about it at the time. Finally, the busy period ended, and I was eager to rekindle our relationship. However, Jess was acting weird. She was more distant now and secretive, guarding her phone like a hawk.
Uh-oh, you said you were only busy for 2 months. That's like no time at all. I'm sure Jess just needed a little time to adjust to you being around more again. Things usually settle down once you get back into your old routine.
Things didn't go back to the way they were before, and I got suspicious of her behavior. So I looked through Jess's phone one morning when she was still asleep, and what I discovered shattered my world. I found texts between her and Daniel where he'd asked to see her nude, and she'd obliged. She'd sent multiple photos of herself in lingerie and nude, and even videos of her playing with herself. She had been cheating on me with my own brother. I couldn't believe it, and anger consumed me like a raging fire. I woke her up immediately and confronted her. I wanted to know why. How could she do something like this with my own little brother? She said it kinda just happened. I was working all the time, and Daniel kept coming over to keep her company, and one thing just led to another, and they developed feelings for each other. She admitted to having sex with him multiple times in our bed while I was slaving away at work.
What the hell? She was doing that with your own little brother, in your house and in your bed. I never saw that coming. You're working your ass off at work all day trying to build a future for you and your girl, and this is what she does? I'm truly shocked by Jess's selfish behavior. I hope you sent her packing.
I was furious and ended the relationship right then and there, kicking her out of the house. The betrayal stung, but the real shock came when I confronted my brother. I drove straight to my parents' house and yelled for him to come out of his room. I wanted to know how he could stab me in the back like that after everything I'd done for him growing up. He just laughed in my face, displaying no remorse for his actions. It took every ounce of self-control not to knock his head off his shoulders in our family living room.
Man, I would have beaten the ever-living crap out of him. You're a bigger man than me. After everything you did for him, that amount of disrespect is unreal. What a complete scumbag. He just stood there and laughed in your face.
To make matters worse, my parents supported Daniel and Jess, believing they had found true love in each other. I was heartbroken and couldn't comprehend how my family could turn their backs on me like that.
They should have backed you up. I wonder if they knew the whole time what was going on between your girlfriend and your brother and they hid it from you. I suspect they did, because from the sounds of it, they weren't too shocked when you turned up to confront Daniel.
In the aftermath, I made some difficult decisions. I cut all contact with both Jess and Daniel, unable to bear the thought of them in my life. I also told my parents that I needed distance from them as long as they supported Daniel's actions. It was a tough choice, but I had to protect my own sanity. Jess moved all her stuff out of my apartment last week, and she said was taking it all to my family home to stay with my brother and my parents while she and Daniel looked for a place together. Can you believe that shit? I told her to leave the spare key on the counter, and I left and just drove around for hours. I just felt numb. I spent the afternoon removing Jess, Daniel, and my parents from all social media and blocked all their contacts. I'm planning on finding a new place to live and not tell them and completely ghost everyone. This whole ordeal taught me a hard lesson. Even those you trust the most can betray you. It shattered my faith in people and made me question the true meaning of family. I learned that life can be incredibly unpredictable. It's going to be a long road before I can trust anyone fully again. I'm in so much pain right now, and I'm just hoping that a little time along with cutting everyone out of my life can ease the hurt I'm feeling. Thanks for taking the time to listen to my story.
It's a huge decision to cut everyone out of your life like that. Discovering that your girlfriend cheated on you with your own brother can be an incredibly hurtful and emotionally devastating experience. I think cutting all ties with them was the right call, as keeping these betrayers in your life might prolong your suffering. It's clear Jess and Daniel don't show genuine remorse or take responsibility for their actions, and they will have to continue without you in their lives going forward. Although, if you wanted to get revenge on your brother, you could always steal Jess back from him and give him a taste of his own medicine. You'd need a solid game plan, though, to get her back, and if that's the route you want to go, I'll leave a link in the description box below to a video that will show you exactly how to get your ex back. And when Jess comes crawling back to you, send her back to the streets where she belongs. Actually, on second thoughts, maybe keeping toxic people out of your life is the best choice. There's no need to stoop to their level. All the best with your future endeavors, Josh. Good luck with everything. So what did you all think about Josh's story? I can't believe his own brother and girlfriend could betray him like that. I'd love to read your thoughts on what happened in the comments below. If you're interested in more content like this, you've got to check out my video about a guy whose girlfriend makes him wait in the car while she cheats on him with Chuck E. Cheese. It's a totally bonkers story. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.